Welcome to Stacks and Stats. I'm your boy Sangeeth, and today I wanted to talk about stacking this. No, that is not a bullet. That is not ammunition. This is, in fact, copper. So let's take a look. So how many of you actually stack copper? I would love to know. If you guys can sound off in the comments and let me know who out there stacks copper. Sometimes I feel like I'm the only one because out of the group of friends that I have that stack, there's about a dozen of us. I'm the only one that actually likes to, buy an ounce or two every now and then. In fact, I get my copper on the cheap because they just happen to run into copper sometimes. Maybe they get it as an extra bonus in one of their orders and they flip it to me for super cheap because they don't want it. But essentially, I like to keep a bit of copper just because I like to diversify my portfolio, my stacking portfolio, just a little bit. Now, I feel like when it comes to stackers, we all have our stacker commandments, kind of like things that stackers believe in. And that is that like stacking is a hedge against inflation, it is sound money, and it's meant to be wealth preservation to some degree. Now, does copper tick off some of those boxes? Yeah. Does it tick off all of them? Definitely not. And that's the reason why. In over 3 years, this is all the copper that I'm willing to get my hands on. Now, copper is just a super prevalent metal in the Earth's crust. It's kind of everywhere. It's actually way more prevalent than silver. So copper in the Earth's crust is found 1,000 times more than silver is. So, I mean, for every 1 ounce of silver, there are 1,000 ounces of copper. So it goes to show you how much more common it is. And I like to just pick these rounds up because honestly, like, they have to be kind of cool looking. Like this was a recent acquisition of mine. It's the Clean Hands, Dirty Money. I've seen the bumper sticker a bunch of times where it's like Dirty Hands, Clean Money. This is kind of the opposite, but it's kind of like a 1930s, 40s style bootlegger, Al Capone style round, which I thought was super cool. Now, copper, in terms of its melt value, is very, very cheap. An ounce of copper is about, give or take, I'd say about 45 cents Canadian. It's about 35 cents US. That price varies, of course. But these rounds are way, way, way more expensive than that. The premiums on these are, like, I thought fractional gold premiums were crazy. The premiums on these copper ounces are just insane. So, 35 cents or 45 cents, what have you, of melt metal weight. And I actually got these on what I consider a pretty good deal. I got these for under $2 per ounce. Now, if you check online, any of these copper ounces, they go for 50 to 100% beyond that price. So when my buddy came to me with this deal, I couldn't say no. And also, like, for me, I just love the look of copper, and specifically like this style here. You have like some of this aged toned copper, which is pretty unique to this set. And copper is the only elemental metal that is this color. You don't find this unless it's an alloy, excuse me, like bronze or brass. Copper in its elemental form is this beautiful reddish tinge metal. And I just think aesthetically, like, it looks so good. All the other metals on the periodic table are all some shade of either silver or gray. The only exception is gold and copper. Gold being yellow and copper being this color. So I just think aesthetically, like, I kind of don't care that the premiums are so high just because copper is so cheap. And honestly, it's just good to look at. So I just kind of want to go over some of the stuff that I have here. I picked up these triangle rounds. These are pretty cool. And I'm a huge fan of the maple leaf, not because I'm Canadian, but I just genuinely love the look of anything that's a maple leaf. And I think this round is made by Geiger. And for our brothers and sisters down south, that's a beautiful American 1 ounce copper, the Bald Eagle. And my favorite, actually, I couldn't pass this up. this is a copper ounce. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, it looks exactly like a cartridge of either, I don't know, 45 ACP or 9mm. I'm not too sure. But a buddy of mine actually custom 3D printed this this holder, this case thing, and just thought the whole set looked super cool. And also this 10-ounce copper bar, which I think is absolutely gorgeous. And that's what it is. Something about copper, it's just gorgeous. Like, I absolutely love this reddish bronzy color, just beautiful. And like I said, anything with the maple leaf on it, like, I don't know, I'm just attracted to it. But a buddy of mine actually, he designed and made this bar himself. So I just had to get it. When I found out it was his work, I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna buy. Now, copper is not a very dense metal. It's actually much less dense than silver, and silver is much less dense than gold. But I wanted to show you kind of a visual representation of the density differences. Now, mind you, this bar is a little thinner than this 10-ounce RCM bar, but look at the difference. 10 ounces for 10 ounces, copper versus silver. You can see the difference in just the sheer surface area. And it goes to show you that yeah, copper is much less dense than silver, and copper is also one of the most conductive elements in the entire universe, which is why they use it in wiring and all that stuff. But silver is the most conductive element. They just don't use it in wiring because, I mean, it's just way too expensive. Silver, I think, is something like 98% conductive, and copper is just in second place at 95%. So copper being a base metal, it really, I mean, it varies in price, but again, just due to the amount of copper there is in the world, there's just a lot of supply, which means that I don't think that we're ever going to get to a point where I can take in this 1-ounce copper round that I paid almost $2 for and get that back in melt. I just don't see that happening, at least not in my lifetime. But yeah, I'm comfortable paying what I paid for it. Now, with the crazy premiums, the insane premiums, I asked myself, well, like why do I even stack this stuff? And honestly, I just do it for fun. I like to, I guess, educate, you know, I have nieces and nephews, and this stuff makes amazing, like, I guess, early teachings of what sound money is. I know, I'm that crazy uncle at the barbecue that's teaching my 4-year-old nieces and nephews what sound money is. So I may seem kind of crazy, but at the end of the day, like, they make good stocking stuffers, and I do hand them out to my nieces and nephews and my own little one when she's old enough to kind of understand what money really is. Oh, and I also wanted to point it out that, cool fact for those of you that are watching this that are not from Canada, the price of copper, just to show you the debasement in our currency, anyone, I think in the US, it's anything that's 1982 or newer is not, their pennies are not made from pure copper anymore. They're made from, like, zinc. It's like a zinc core with like a copper coating. And that just goes to show you the level of debasement when it comes to currency. That, you know, pennies nowadays are not even made out of copper because they're not worth their weight in copper. And it's not the fact that copper went up in price. It's the fact that this denomination, a penny, is not even worth it. It's devalued so much that it doesn't make sense to put that much copper in them anymore. So it's kind of crazy if you think about it that way. It's not that copper went up; it's that the value of your currency went down, which is kind of scary. And what's funny is in Canada, the RCM stopped minting the penny altogether. So they switched up the penny. They made it zinc, just like they did in the States. And then they just, you know what? Screw it. They just dropped it all together in 2012 because our currency is just debased that much. So our nickel is now the new penny, which is strange if you think about it. But yeah, that's what we're dealing with here in Canada since 2012. In fact, I don't know the last time I saw a penny. Like, it's been years since I've seen a penny. That if I saw one, I'd probably just keep it on the side and throw it into my my little copper stack here. But yeah, guys, I just wanted to show you my very small copper stack. And again, I do it just for fun. I love the color of copper, and I love to teach the kids about it. So if you do like content like this, I'd really appreciate if you could like and subscribe, and I'll be trying to put out more content this week. Thank you so much.